What's up, everybody? My name is Game Over, and welcome back to another Top 5 Favorite Anime Characters! Hooray! Another episode! Yay! In this episode, I'm gonna be talking... Recently, I just finished watching, Please Don't Toy With Me, Why can I not speak? Please Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro. I watched that. It's a good anime. It's very good. Why it's good, I will get into that after I finish telling about my top 5 favorite anime characters. But there's a bit of a problem. There's a bit of a problem with Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro. There's a bit of a problem with this anime. If we're getting rid of all of the side characters, like the background characters that don't matter, if we're getting rid of them, there are only there are only, what, 1, 2, 3... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are only 6 characters in this anime! Meaning, I only have 6 people that can be my top 5. So basically, it just boils down to who I like less. Or who I like the least and who I like the most. You'll tell who I like the least by not mentioning their name. I have their names on the side here because... The weird thing is, the president's name isn't even... There is no name for her. It's just president. There's no name. But whatever. Let's jump into this. So, coming in at my number 5 is probably Sakura. She is the, sort of... I'll say mature. Mature is a good word. She is the mature one of the group. Who kind of gets introduced, I think, like... 4 or 5 episodes into the anime, where she's part of Nagatoro's friend group, and she kind of is the wise but still enjoys bullying senpai part of the group. Mature is literally the only word that I can describe her by. The reason why she's coming at my number 5 is because it's, like I said, she's the wise person of the group. She is there, like, during the episode where senpai and her go on a fake date, she kind of, I don't know, gives senpai that confidence, like trying to give him confidence during the date, which is kind of what she's there for. She was there to help senpai during that moment instead of actually bully him, which is actually kind of cool for me. Did anybody else get that from that scene? I'm pretty sure I'm probably the only one, but I feel as though that's what she was trying to do. I'm probably the only one with that, though, and everybody's probably looking at me like, what are you talking about, bruh? Next, coming in at my number 4, will have to be Nagatoro. Actually, no. I think Nagatoro's more my 3. I think Gamo-chan. She's my number 4. Because, while with Nagatoro, I don't know where I stand, Gamo-chan, I do know where I stand. And that is, I'm not entirely a fan of her. I'm not really a fan of her. Because while Nagatoro is the half be nice to senpai, half be mean to senpai, Gamo-chan is just straight mean. Like, nothing else. She'll just bully him into submission. She's not being a tsundere, she's just straight annihilating him into the ground. So that's why she's at my number 4. I only like her more than Sakura. It's because Sakura makes me uncomfortable whenever she opens her mouth. Coming in at my number 3, I think coming in at my number 3 is Nagatoro. It has to be Nagatoro, because I don't know who else it could be. The reason why Nagatoro is coming in at my number 3 is because I don't know how I feel about Nagatoro. She's not she's not the best character in the anime, even though she's the main flipping character, and she's not the worst person in the anime. I don't know where I stand with her, because I love the scenes where senpai and Nagatoro have their moments where Nagatoro actually treats senpai as a human being and has those cute moments where they both know that they mutually like each other, but neither of them will admit it. It's funny to me when those moments happen. But then there's the moments where Nagatoro just straight up demolishes senpai's confidence. like, I know it happens less during the end because Nagatoro near the end just tries her best to solely focus on getting Senpai's confidence up instead of, and not many scenes of her making fun of him as much as the beginning. But the very first episode, and then until like halfway through the episodes, she made fun of him a lot, which made me not like her. Like, she had her moments at the beginning, sure, but just how Nagatoro treats Senpai during the bad times, it doesn't make me. I can understand why people had mixed feelings about this anime. It's because you're watching the two main characters. One of them just get bullied while the other one is in love with him, but just continues to pummel what little confidence he has into the ground. But it gets better. It honestly does near like the end, near like the halfway point, like from the beach episode, I think, till the end. The anime is really flipping good. I gladly say that it's a really good anime. Just if you're going from the beach episode onward, everything that happened before that, before Nagatoro was legit trying to get Senpai's confidence up, it's a loose cannon. But yeah, that's why Nagatoro's at my number 3. I don't know where to place her. She doesn't fit anywhere else because I don't like her more enough to put her in number 2, and I don't hate her enough to put her in number 4. She's just number 3. Now, coming in at my number 2. My number 2, I mean, there's a spot for number 1 or number 2, and I think between the two characters that I'm thinking of, I think the president Senpai. Senpai's at my number 2. The reason why Senpai is my number 2, and I cannot believe I'm going to place this person at my number 1, but the reason why Senpai is my number 2 is because Senpai is an amazing character that I absolutely love. He's very much relatable to real life audiences, and he does have his moments where he honestly shines. The reason why Senpai is my number 2 and not my number 1 is because while there are moments where he shines, they're not the correct moments where the plot is going. I'm going to contradict myself when I start talking about the plot, but at the moment, let's pretend that there's a plot. The plot is that, yes, the plot is around Nagatoro and Senpai getting into a relationship and eventually saying that they love each other, yada yada yada, boring. But the other part of the plot is that from Nagatoro, Senpai is meant to be gaining confidence and learning to try new things outside of drawing, but also to learn that he has skill in these things and gain the confidence to kind of not have to rely on Nagatoro so much to be the confidence part of their team. The thing that's making me think this is that in the entire anime, we've seen Senpai be this really shy and doesn't want to talk to anybody person where he doesn't really get angry at people. Literally the episode where they were talking about Senpai learning to be able to say an insult back at someone, when Nagatoro made fun of him using the worst insult that she possibly could have, he cried. He didn't yell back. He just said that's taking it a bit too far, and then started crying. Which is kind of what Senpai's whole entire thing was. The whole entire episode there was teaching him to have the confidence to say something back to them, say something back against people making fun of him, so then he doesn't end up crying. Now, that's what Senpai is meant to gain confidence. That's what the whole entire anime is about. It's about Nagatoro and Senpai getting together in a relationship, but it's also about Senpai learning to evolve and go from, to use Nagatoro's words, to become a man. The thing that made me disappointed was the episode where Nagatoro and her friends were sitting on a bench with a bunch of random background characters who were basically trying to ask Nagatoro out. That was I already seen that episode multiple times before I even watched the anime, and that was supposed to be a moment where Senpai saw that he was meant to get jealous. He saw that people were trying to take the girl that he knows deep down that he likes but won't admit it. And he was meant to walk up and he was meant to confidently ask Nagatoro to walk home with him. It wasn't even him saying get lost to the other dudes. What you could have done was have him walk up, be nervous at the beginning, then have him take a deep breath and say, Nagatoro, do you want to walk home with me? The dudes make fun of him, thinking that Nagatoro would never answer yes, and then Nagatoro stands up and says, let's go, senpai, and then walk off. That is how I think the scene should have gone. What actually happened was senpai walked up to them, and there was just a series of stuttering, mumbling, and it was basically just senpai going, Nagatoro, do you want to walk home with me? He didn't seem confident to me. It didn't seem like he grew at all. It seemed like he just forced himself into a situation and tried to make do with what he had. I mean, it's a great skill in general. It's good to have that sort of skill. But I wanted him to have the confidence in that moment. He didn't need to have confidence in any other moment. In that specific moment, I felt like that was meant to be us seeing that his confidence is slowly growing. That his confidence just had a spark in that moment that sparked him getting ready to become an amazingly confident character. That was meant to be the beginning of him actually gaining confidence, in my opinion. So because Senpai doesn't really have a scene where he acts confident, I kind of have to leave him at my number 2, because to me, this main character is not developing. He's not growing. Nothing has changed. I know it's season 1. Now, coming in at my number 1, which I don't really want to be at my number 1, but she's probably the character that I guess I like the most, considering that she has a growing moment, and she actually is a great character, and also because the other choice is straight no, God no, is the President. The President is at my number 1. The reason why look, I know the President makes me uncomfortable because there are a lot of scenes. Her whole entire nickname is the Lewd Queen. You would think that kind of character would not be very appealing to me, but she has some amazing scenes where she's legit funny. I've watched High School DxD, and I laughed at all of the uncomfortable, lewd parts of it because I thought that was funny. Calm down, I watched the censored version of High School DxD, so don't think that I'm a degenerate like all of you. But, having those scenes, it just made me laugh, and I loved those scenes because of the laughter that it gave me. The President gave me those exact same feelings from High School DxD, where these incredibly embarrassing situations happen, and I just laughed my head off at them, because they were legit funny. Don't get me wrong, she still makes me uncomfortable, but still... it's still funny. Anyway, it's time to move. So now with my 5 in their places, number 5 being Sakura, number 4 being Gamo-chan, number 3 being Nagatoro, number 2 being Senpai, and number 3 being President, you know exactly who is not on the list and is my least liked character. And that is Yoshi. Yoshi is like if you took Gamo-chan and then took Omo-chow from Sonic Heroes, mashed them together, threw Annoying Orange into the mix, and Yoshi was born. Yoshi is Gamo-chan's bully sidekick, but she's annoying as hell because she doesn't actually bring anything to the table. She doesn't bully Senpai with words. She bullies him with repeating the same words that someone else said against him. Ah, there's a fly. Got him. she just repeats the words that the bully said to Senpai. She just repeats it, which is annoying to me. Go away! You don't bring anything to the table. You're just filling up room. Yoshi is my least liked character. Not because I don't like the character, because obviously she's meant to be there for comedy reasons. It's just the fact of a character like this existing. I like Yoshi as a character, but when actually put in the premise, I don't like her because she's just annoying. And that's pretty much all the characters. Like, there's 6 characters in here, and that was so hard to choose because, like, Gamo-chan was one of them. And of course she's gonna be somewhere near the bottom, because who wants to say that, oh yeah, my favorite character is a legit bully that's bullying the main protagonist? Who's gonna say that Bakugo is their favorite character from My Hero Academia? No one! But anyway, it's time to talk about the plot of Please Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro. And this is where I contradict myself from what I said earlier in the video, where I said, let's pretend that there's a plot for Please Don't Bully Me, Miss Nagatoro, because there isn't. There really is not a plot for this anime, which is good. Let me explain. I know that you're all up in rah-ha about this, but the plot of Please Don't Bully Me, Miss Nagatoro is Nagatoro and Senpai. That's it. The plot is so broad that you could do anything, you could put anything in any episode and it still works. The reason why is because these episodes are treated more as child TV shows, more so than actual like legit story-based animes, where in story-based animes, the episode before the episode you're about to watch, everything in there gets transferred into this episode. Memories, events, everything. Like how in Sword Art Online, the episode where they find you, the next episode after that, you disappears, and then all the way later on in season 1, Kirito brings out the you necklace and you appears again. That is like a stereotypical story-based anime. It's just everything from the last episode gets transferred to the next one, and so forth and so on, so then everything just builds up to the last climactic moment. This acts like a child's TV show where the events of the last episode doesn't matter. You could start the anime, as long as you've watched the first episode, you could start the anime at any point apart from watching episode 10, 11, and 12. You could watch the anime at any point apart from the beginning and 10, 11, and 12, and nothing will change. You could rearrange the order of the episodes and it would still make sense, because none of the events that happened in the episode before gets transferred to the end, unless you go to the episode 10, 11, and 12, where obviously they're going to have flashbacks to older episodes, so then you can understand the build-up and feelings that the characters have towards each other. And obviously at the beginning, because you won't understand anything if you have the beginning somewhere in the middle. Yeah, basically, to give an example, in each episode, there are 2 halves. There's one story half and another story half. In one story half, you will have Nagatoro cutting Senpai's hair, where the whole entire story in that is that Nagatoro says, you need to get your hair cut. I will do it. I cut my brother's hair all the time. She gets called out by her friends to leave the club room, and then her friends walk in because they tricked her to walk out, so then they could grab the cutting hair tools and try to shave Senpai's head. She comes back in, scares them out of the room, and she cuts Senpai's hair. That's the plot for that story arc. And then the second half of the story will come in, where it's school holidays, and Senpai is at home, being alone, and Nagatoro will invite him to the beach. They have fun at the beach, and Senpai draws Nagatoro. That's the plot. I mean, at the end of it, he learns that, you know, he wants to invite Nagatoro to more things, but that's the entire plot. 2 episodes where the plot doesn't matter if it continues on to the next scene. It's basically just a bunch of filler episodes. But then it gets to the ending, where during episodes 10, 11, and 12, we meet the president. And in the last 3 episodes, we get to meet the president, and president is my #1 character, so think about that. Where the president's like, I'm going to shut down the club because you're not taking this seriously. Nagatoro busts in and is like, You don't understand because you don't know that Senpai's been alone always, every day, every single second of the day he's been alone. And now we're trying to force him out of his shell and you're doing blah blah blah. So they have a sketching, an art competition, where if Senpai wins, then then the club room stays open. And basically the next 3 episodes are based off of that, where Senpai thinks, yeah, I want to draw a Nagatoro because whenever I draw a Nagatoro, I put love and heart into it, just like the president said. And then the art competition is the last episode, where now President is part of the friend circle, and and I'm guessing in Please Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro season 2, there's going to be a lot more episodes where she's going to be doing a lot more funny scenes, so I'm happy. But yeah, the only downside is that you have to watch episode 1. Episode 1 is a 50-50 on whether you will like it. Some people will like episode 1. I have no doubts for that. But I didn't. My advice is, this is an amazing anime because having an anime that doesn't necessarily require plot all the time and just having straight filler, those sorts of animes are good. It's nice to take a break from heavily story-based animes to just mess around. It's good to have those types of animes. However, if you can handle the first episode, you're gonna love the anime. You're gonna love it. The rest of the episodes you're gonna love. The first episode is literally the worst episode out of them all, because the first episode is literally just like Nagatoro pummeling Senpai into the ground just to introduce Nagatoro as a character, just to show you, just to beat it over your head who Nagatoro is at this point. She literally demolishes Senpai. I wouldn't be surprised if all of Senpai's confidence disappeared because of the beginning of the anime. If Senpai lost all of his confidence just because of what Nagatoro did at the beginning of the anime, I would not be surprised if that's what happened. But if you can get past the first episode, the rest of the anime is absolutely amazing, and I highly suggest you go watch it. And in record time, that's the end of my top 5 favorite anime characters video. Usually this goes on for an hour. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this anime. Like and comment and tell me what you think of the anime yourself. I want to hear what you guys think of Please Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro. If you have seen it, please let me know who your top favorite anime characters are, and tell me what you liked about the anime. Am I wrong? I'm probably wrong, but you guys can tell me if I'm wrong or not. I don't really care. I'm going to read the comments anyway, so please do that. Anyway, like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And until next time, with no game to be over, bye-bye!